It genuinely is a great pleasure to be here. Over the years I've come here, it's like my church of belonging, my home church for myself and Rosemary. So today, let's get started. I would like to begin by inviting you simply to listen to a piece of music. Remember, music often is not something we just listen to, but we listen to it for the stillness that follows. Notice as you give attention, awareness to hearing, listening. Your own stillness begins to grow. So just listen to the music. And my prayer would be that slowly, stillness would hold you, drop you down, allow you to rest, allow you just to be. So we're going to begin. This is called Benedictus, Two Cellos by Carl Jenkins. rest.
I arise today through the strength of heaven, light of sun, radiance of moon, splendor of fire, speed of lightning, swiftness of wind, depth of the sea, stability of earth, firmness of rock. I arise today through God's strength to pilot me, God's eye to look before me, God's wisdom to guide me, God's way to lie before me, God's shield to protect me.
I arise today in the name of silence, womb of the word. All sacred texts, poetry needs silence to enliven, to bring to life. I arise today in the name of stillness, stillness, the home of belonging. When I taste stillness, I sit firm. I'm held. I arise today in the name of solitude, solitude of earth and of soul. May today be for you a place where heart hearing heals. Where old wounds are held in tender, loving care. Where serenity, that beautiful word, where serenity, a state of being calm, peaceful, and untroubled. May this visit you today in a new way as you allow stillness to hold you. I would like to begin by telling you a little about my own journey to this place. Almost 30 years ago, I decided to leave formal ministerial priesthood. At that stage, I was running a retreat center the house of prayer. I spent years giving clergy retreats and monastic retreats and all sorts of retreats, but I was needing, for some reason, to do something else. At that time, I met Bert Hellinger's partner, Hunter Bowman, who was professor in Munich University, and he said to me, "You can't leave." I said, "I've decided I am leaving." He said, "You cannot leave and be happy." So it was scaring me. He said, "The only way you can leave is to commit more. Your soul cannot go backwards." That sort of did speak to me. I knew, yeah. So I decided, okay, I'm going to spend some years exploring other traditions, which I did. Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, Judaism, Christianity. And somewhere along the line, I realized not breadth, depth, simplicity. Go down, make a commitment. Then I decided to pursue the contemplative Christian path. Along the way, what most helped me was listening to people, meeting people who were living from their own center, who had gone down into their own depths and done the psycho-spiritual work. I can remember listening to Mother Teresa of Calcutta. And she talked about silence. But it meant very little if it doesn't become incarnational. And she talked about holding a baby, and I can remember to this day, holding a baby that she picked off the street who was dying. But she said, I held the baby close until I could feel the connection, the baby yearning for the human connection. Just for 1 minute before baby would die. She talked about love. What is it? What's the point and purpose of our lives? What would be the last thing I will consider? Have I loved enough? There's something about the heartfelt way Mother Teresa did speak that day. Something in me melted. Self-sufficiency dropped away a little bit more. Other wonderful experiences on the road to this place, for example, was meeting Thich Nhat Hanh, doing some retreats in Plum Village. What's happening, Rosemary? And to watch Thai, meaning teacher in Vietnamese, to watch Thai walk, doing walking meditation, which hopefully we will do later. He, I observed, caressed. That's all I can say. He was caressing the earth. He knew it was the soil of the soul. When you walk in wild nature, does she not renew you again and again and again? He walked a child at either hand. He didn't need to say anything. His presence. His presence. I remember Rosemary saying to me, what will you say when you meet Thai? I'll just say, well, I'm John Cully from Ireland. What I did was I found a quiet corner in the garden and I wept. He robbed me self-sufficiency, trying to be anything other than just what and who you are. What a privilege to be in His presence. Quite a contrast to that was the Dalai Lama. I listened and laughed for 3 hours. An extraordinary figure, oozing with joy. Again, a presence. His motto, forever speaks. Kindness, kindness, kindness. Always kindness, only kindness, 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 kindness. That day, as he got out of the helicopter, walking into the lecture theatre, he lifted his foot. What'd you do? Lest he stamp on some earth creature. He didn't need to say very much after that. He taught us already. Another mystic of our times, Eckhart Tolle. I went to hear Eckhart speak a few times. 2,000 people, spellbound by his absolute simplicity. When you lose touch with stillness, he says, you lose touch with yourself, and you then are lost. Lost in the world. Let me read you a little bit, if I may. 3, 4, 5 little pieces from Stillness Speaks, his book. Just because you on your journey know this. See what echoes as I read. Stillness. Stillness is your essential nature. You are that awareness disguised as a person. When you become aware of silence, stillness, solitude, inside you, immediately, there's an inner alertness. Observe yourself. Look at a tree, a flower, a plant. Let your awareness rest upon them for a moment. How still they are. How deeply rooted in being. So we can allow nature to teach us about being still. To be a full human being and not always a human doing. To rest in this place. I'm going to invite you to meditate with me. I'm going to lead you into the meditation. I don't know, am I sitting among many people who are daily meditating, or it's very new to you? So I'm leaning in that it's new to some. So I will guide it, saying very little. This might take 15, 20 minutes. We can manage that. So I invite you, first of all, just to sit in a way that's relaxed, but yet alert. Your hands probably on your lap, if that's comfortable. And for a moment, just being aware of your feet firmly on the ground, your right foot, your left foot, notice sensation, your right hand and left hand. And now just listen to sounds in the church. Creaking door. Somebody breathing next to you. Heart hearing. Just listen and allow the stillness begin to grow ever more deeply in you. I'm going to suggest a mantra or prayer word. If you have your own, great. If you have not, possibilities are Shalom, Abba, Maranatha. Whatever attracts your heart that might keep you centered when you're distracted, because thoughts will continue. Thoughts will come in, thoughts will come in, thoughts. And each time you use your word to come back to your center. So decide on that word, whatever that might be now. And begin to sit in silence. When thoughts come, use your word to put aside all other words, thoughts, and images. Quietly repeating your word, and then in time that word begins to repeat itself in you. But for today, just come back to the word. Every few minutes, I might come in reminding you to return to your center. When thoughts come, just use your word to return you. Or if you hear voices outside, listen with attention. That deepens the stillness. Don't resist. Rather, listen deeply. And it drops you down more into your stillness. And remember, what you're doing is consenting to the presence that's already here, to the presence and the action of something greater. simply allowing the stillness to hold you. It might be helpful for some to simply say, resting, resting, resting. And our final few minutes, really, really being fully here. to finish in a few minutes, and I'm going to then invite you to be on your own outside for a short walking meditation. So, like a regular Zendo, can you, in the next few minutes in your own time, just decide to be outside alone, but to do this? 3 simple things. Sense your own body as you stand outside. Sense, and then look long, lingeringly at nature, or the sky formation, the tree, whatever. And looking. Sometimes one definition among many of contemplation is taking a long, loving look at the real. So again, when you're outside, stopping, just sensing your feet underneath, sensing yourself as you walk, stopping, looking lingeringly, not allowing thoughts to intrude. This way, allow your stillness to grow, to expand, to bring it into life. And we'll meet back here in about 15-20 minutes. So enjoy. Thank you, Father Eric. Taizé. That was Taizé, peace. And Taizé, in the south of France, people gather to chant. In Marquise, we're told 2,000 people. An extraordinary contemplative experience. And what's amazing about it, people travel from all over the world, and they say the average age is somewhere between 20 and 30. Hungry for spirituality, the real deal. And to see the joy in their faces, to walk in that atmosphere. Wow, beautiful, beautiful. And they listen deeply. The chants go way up and come down, way up and come down, and they linger long in the stillness. And there they learn to listen to themselves. I'm often with the phrase, heart, ears, hear. Heart, ears, heal. When somebody listens to me with their whole heart, I'm growing, I'm getting tall. If they really, really hear me, I am healing. It's the greatest quest of the human heart. Please hear me. What's so missing from our Western society, where much more and many is the predominant value, to notice, to be here now. I'm reminded of the Zen Buddhist teaching of the 10 oxen, and the synoptic version of the story is very simply, she goes on a journey, leaves home, begins to climb the mountain, begins to meditate, begins to go on an inner journey. I'm sure there's some therapy thrown in there somewhere. She goes up the mountain, gets stuck in places, as we all do in life, gets stuck in places, and gets free again, and goes on another bit. Another decade later, still on the journey. Eventually, she hits the heights of nirvana, inner peace, stillness. I'm now wealthy. Now she has to come down the mountain. I have to come down into the valley. And she comes down. And she puts her feet down on the ground again, and she says, it's just the same ground I left. Nothing has changed, except it's now not just the ordinary, it's the beautiful ordinary. It's not just the same, everything has changed. The beautiful ordinary unfolds for us day after day. Today is a day that we will never have again. A once only unique creation, never to be again. It's gone. And the sun goes down tonight. The gift. Heart, ears, heal. The first to heal is myself. For years, part of my work was training people to be spiritual directors. And really, what we noticed more than anything else as we accompanied people was those who listen deeply to themselves, they began to really heal heart, ears for themselves, down to hear the whisper in their own depths, to make that journey to sit in contentment with themselves, to arrive home. We are all, if you like, on a healing journey. And that healing journey will take all of us from a clenched fist to an open hand. Life presses finger after finger after finger open. Suffering knocks at our door. That's part of the journey, the healing life's journey. We might let go more and more. We might move from swimming to floating. When I'm swimming, I decide to swim for this long and go that direction. Floating, I trust the ocean. Not just to hold me up, but to take me where I need to go. I shared with you earlier some of the people that I've been so fortunate to meet and be influenced by. I'd like to tell you about another one or two very ordinary people, beautiful, beautiful people that I've had the privilege to accompany. Maggie's the name of one, not the real name, but I would visit Maggie once a month. And as I go into the house, she'd tell me to put on the kettle. Very homey. Now she's way into her 80s. One day I arrived and she said, I don't know if I'm praying all of the time or not praying at all. It's a question we often maybe have. I don't know. So really? Yeah, I used to be so clear, she said. I was so clear about who God was. I don't know who he is now. My images about him, her, all gone. And then she added, I miss him. The way I miss my husband, who's now dead 8 years, Mick. I still long day and night for his company. And as I was listening to her, what came to me was I could describe the beauty of the sea from a distance. But when I'm in the water, I'm too close. I said, Maggie, maybe you're so close you can't have clear knowledge in your head about. You long for, and you during the night and during the day. I think you're praying all of the time. Nothing is missed in all of our efforts. I think ordinary contentment is the fruit of practice. The practice is simple. It requires discipline, but the fruit is contentment. Contentment. Which reminds me of an Irish story. The story goes that the fisherman, this is back in the 50s, is by the water fishing, but he hasn't got a rod. All he has is a string with an anchor. He's there fishing at the end of the pier. but hugely content. Pipe, one side of the mouth. That was before any scare around smoking. And he hears a car behind him on the pier. He looks around, it's a new car, which is very rare then. And the guy gets out of the car, a large gentleman, and walks in his direction. He looks at him. He said, "What are you doing?" He said, I'm fishing. He said, "What with that?" He said, "Yes." And he smiled, content. He said, why would you not have two strings? Why would I do that? Well, that increases your chances, 50%, you might catch more fish. Right. And he smiles. And then what would I do? Well, if you had a number of people fishing for you, you'd eventually maybe get enough money, you could buy a rod. Oh. And what would I do then? Well, you could let your anchor go way out, and the chances of catching fish increases immediately. And what would I do then? He said, entirely you could get other people to fish for you. Oh, really? Yeah. And what would I do then? He said, eventually you could buy a boat and have other people fish for you. And then he says, you could just sit back and be content. He says, but that's where I am now. The fruit of practice is contentment. Ordinary contentment. The fisherman used to sit hour after hour after hour on his own. Throw it out, whatever he did. If I was interviewing him, he'd probably say, the silence overtakes you after a while. Silence. I mentioned Thai Thich Nhat Hanh this morning, and maybe before we below a little piece of music, I just maybe finish with a walking meditation. Thai was with his monks on the way to Vietnam after the Vietnam War, and he walked through the country with 100 of his monks, ministering as best he could to a broken people. And en route, he was very tempted throughout the night in the boat to get really angry. And he made up this meditation called the Pure Land. So I'm going to maybe I'll walk up and down just doing the meditation, and later we might do it together. But I would like you first of all just to taste a little bit of the meditation, so I invite you just to close your eyes and to be inside, and again we will do it together here later. And walking meditation is really about arriving more fully into the moment. It's not going anywhere. It's coming in more to now. Here is the Pure Land. The Pure Land is here. For the kingdom of God is now. The Pure Land is here. I smile in mindfulness and dwell in the present moment. The Buddha or the Christ is in the autumn leaf, the fall leaf. The Dharma, the teaching, is in the passing cloud. Everything is passing. Nothing is permanent. The teaching is in the passing cloud. Sangai, community, is everywhere. The chirping bird, the duck in the pond, the child at play. Community is everywhere. The human family surrounds us. I breathe in, the flowers bloom. I breathe out, the bamboo sways. My mind is free, and I enjoy every moment. Linger, my friends, with that last line. My mind is free. It's the fruit of practice. My mind is free, and I enjoy every moment, because I now live in the beautiful ordinary. I would like to suggest we have a little break, and what I wasn't expecting to say, but what I'm saying is maybe you'd like to get a cup of coffee or water or some snack, but would you sit with somebody next to you and just for a few minutes say, well, what's gone on for me is this. How about you? Can I hear you? Can we just heart hear each other? Just maybe 5-10 minutes. Because when we come back, I would like to lead you in a guided meditation, which is quite long. So we might take 10-15 minutes for that. Is that okay? Or sit on your own if you so wish. But it's sometimes to hear another, really heartfelt. It's a grace, a joy. And please, coffee or snack. And we'll 10-15 minutes. Thank you. And let's return to the silence. Somebody suggested that we might be able to sing along with some of the Tese. So Father Egg is going to lead us in another Tese, which will serve as an introduction to a guided fantasy meditation that will follow that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you all. So this piece, which I just played, will play it again. And the words are Ubi caritas et amor, ubi caritas Deus ibi est, which means wherever charity and love are, there God is. So wherever charity and love are, there God is. So I will play it a few times through, and as soon as you feel comfortable joining in, feel free. And then that will lead us into our guided meditation with John.
And this is a fantasy-guided meditation, but it's more than a fantasy. So I'm going to invite you with your eyes closed to choose what you might call a favorite place. It might be a lonely field, a mountaintop. It may be by the sea. It might be hearing water trickling down a mountain stream, or hearing the gush of the ocean loudly, and yet drawing you to be quiet, to be still. Choose what you might then call a favorite place. If there's a couple of them, choose one now. And in your imagination, go there. Just actually be there. Look around there. Look up at the sky. Notice the sky formation. Is the sun shining? Or is raindrops? Are they dripping? Notice. And just feel underfoot the ground on which you stand. Further, notice the sounds there. Maybe wildlife, perhaps bird song, perhaps seagull. Really take time to really be there. Just for these few minutes, really, really be there. Further, have a sense of being on your own and delight in that. Oh God, it's so good to be on my own. Yes, let that echo inside. It's so good to be in wild nature on my own. And now from this favorite place, you look into the distance and you see a distant pathway, and you decide to make your way towards it. Slowly walking, slowly ambling, curious as you walk towards the pathway. And as you get closer to the path, you notice it's a windy path. And this arouses your curiosity as to where it will lead. Now take the path and begin to walk. Walk the path. And as you do, you look off into the distance and you see a large tree. And you decide as you look up at the tree, big sister, big brother, many, many years old. You decide to sit with her. So you sit down and you feel the support immediately as you allow it to support you. You sit into, put your back, your buttocks, sit and let it support you. Feel it's supporting you. Simply rest here. Close your eyes and breathe easy. It's good to be here and on my own. Growingly, I notice in my life a hunger for more quietude, silence. Silence to be that place where I come home to myself. I sit and rest and rest. And then after some time, I open my eyes and I look off into the distance. And I think I see a figure, a human being, yes. I just see an outline of a man. Perhaps maybe it's a woman, I'm not sure. But you know in your heart that this is the one who walks with you in life. Perhaps your soul, your soul companion. Now decide who this person is. It may be Buddha, it may be Allah, it may be Jesus. You decide. And they are coming towards me, coming closer. And now I get a greater clarity of vision. Notice the clothes that are worn. Notice the feet, barefoot, sandals, shoes. And slowly, she is coming really close. Not quite making eye contact yet, but somehow I know this is going to happen. And then quite suddenly, I turn towards this other. They look at me, and our eyes meet. And I'm held in this gaze. Comes closer and looks at me. And then quietly, even softly, my name is pronounced. And I've never heard it spoken with such love and reverence. Hear your name. My name is spoken with such reverence, such depth of love. It stirs me. No words pass between us, it's a gaze. Looking into my eyes and I looking into the other's eyes. And I notice a faint smile. And I observe a delight. Somebody is delighting in me. And somehow you know in your heart this other knows all and loves all. I notice something moving inside of me. Something is stirring inside of me. Some depth acceptance is actually happening. I'm resting. My body is tasting relaxation. This contact is bringing a healing and a wholeness within me. It seems I cannot gaze into the eyes of love and not be touched and changed by this level of loving contact. Sees all, knows all, and loves all. I rest. I thought I would want to say so much, but no. I just feel a rest growing in me. And somehow find myself whispering, knows all, sees all, loves all, you're touched. There might even be some wet prayers, tears not far away. This presence is changing me. I just have to sit and allow myself to be seen. It seems love comes dropping slowly. I need time to absorb. Drop by drop by drop. Something is deepening in me. And somehow I know I'm breathing out all I no longer want and breathing in what I really need. I sit quietly, resting even from thoughts. The echo is in me, resting, resting. Finally, resting. Somehow, I begin to sense our time here together is drawing to a close. And I look again into those eyes, and that faint smile of delight when I'm looked at. I feel more precious now. It feels it's etched inside of me. This gaze is changing me. Perhaps I am precious after all. Slowly, this other stands up. And somehow without words, I know we're about to part. And slowly, I observe this other walk slowly away in the direction from which this other came. Walking away. Slowly I observe, I linger long looking as this presence, this other, walks slowly away. But somehow, yes, this other is leaving, but the presence remains. Leaves, but stays. I watch until the other fades from sight. Now gone, but the presence remains. Oh. The gaze has left a print inside my heart, here now and forever. And slowly in the next few minutes decide to leave that, what we call your favorite place, journeying back, maybe taking that winding path and back, being present, back in this place. Take your time. I'm going to invite you to stay in stillness. And we'll do another very brief meditation before lunch. Stay resting, allowing the stillness to hold you close. Rest. If you need to use your prayer word, your mantra, please do. Otherwise, just rest in the stillness. Consenting to the presence that is here. just before lunch, which is about 20 minutes away, I'd like again to invite you to be on your own, doing nothing, engaging in non-doing meditation. Non-doing meditation is where you sit or walk. You're not going anywhere. You're not doing anything. There is no destination. Just to allow yourself to be present, to enjoy what's here. Non-doing meditation. You sit. Oh, I should do this. Resist that. Oh, I should resist that. And each time you resist, you drop down somewhere more into the stillness, more. So you might walk. No goal, no destination. And please enjoy. I'm assuming lunch would do an hour for lunch. Yeah, 12 to 1. Okay. So we actually meet back here at 1. Do you want to say where the lunch is? We can. Yeah, thank you. At the end of this morning, I could feel the group quality of silence deepening because we're here supporting each other in the stillness. So for the afternoon, for the few hours that are left to us, I would like, in between what we do, for you to steal as much time as you can on your own. So maybe 3 or 4 times, I'll invite you to be out on your own or sitting here quietly. Because in a day like today, it's very hit and miss, as it is with any grouping. This, in a bigger frame, you could imagine a one-on-one retreat. Spiritual accompaniment responding to where you are, which is the ongoing work I engaged with. So to be alone with your own thoughts, your own feelings, your own movements is really important. You allow that seed to drop down and be nurtured in the quiet. Too much information seldom brings about transformation. Small, potent, few, constant. These are the words that belong to growth from complexity to simplicity and depth. So I'd like now to lead you in a loving kindness meditation. And the first here on the agenda is ourselves. There are 3 moments in this meditation. The first is I lead you in loving kindness towards yourself. Then I'll invite you to choose a friend, a family member. And then the third will be somebody you have great difficulty with. And I'll invite you. It's so important, though, to begin with ourselves, to fill my own jug first. In the ideal world, we give to others of our overflow. if I'm already dispersed and scattered, when you're asking me for something, the quality of what I give probably will not be too good. So filling your own jug first. I remember a young mother I sat with one time. She was breastfeeding her baby. She says, "That's easy said." I said, "Yes, okay. Corrected." Still not corrected. Where possible, filling my own jug first, to be centered healthily on myself. And so then, perhaps with your eyes closed, follow me, please, as I lead. So can you sit with yourself? And prepare to bring loving kindness to yourself. And I invite you to see yourself, and to know where you hurt, to know where you need the tender, loving care. Where does your hand need to rest? So I invite you to begin to say to yourself, may I be filled with love and kindness towards myself. Just repeat that over and over with feeling. May I be filled with love and kindness towards myself. Be awake and aware of how often we neglect self. Step over me. May I be filled with love and kindness towards myself. Stop for a moment and consider what that might mean. What does it mean? To pause, to be kind to me. What do I do? Ring a friend, have a cup of coffee. What is it I do? How can I exercise love and kindness towards myself? May I be filled with love and kindness towards myself. And further, may I be peaceful and at ease. May I be peaceful and at ease. Feel peaceful and at ease. May I be peaceful and at ease. And finally, may contentment find a home in me. May contentment find a home in me. And just once again, may I be filled with loving kindness towards myself. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may contentment find a home in me. And now I invite you to choose a friend, a family member, perhaps somebody who's struggling a loved one, bringing him or her to mind. Begin to send them loving kindness. May you put their name there. May you be filled with love and kindness. Oh, my loved one, may you be filled with love and kindness. Extend your heart to his or hers. May they be filled with love, filled with kindness. May they be peaceful and at ease. May you be peaceful and at ease. And from my heart to your heart, may contentment really find a home in you. And a third, consider a difficult person, somebody you struggle with. So bringing this person to mind, extend to them loving kindness. May you be filled with love and kindness. May you be peaceful. Send them that. May you be peaceful and at ease. And may contentment find a home in you. May contentment find a home inside you. I invite you now to take yourself, your chosen family friend, and somebody you struggle with, take them for a walk. Walk alone, maybe 10, 15 minutes, or sit here. Trust your good heart, whatever you're drawn to. In about 15 minutes, we'll begin again here. But please take that time for you, your loved one, and the one you struggle with.
As we gather back together, I have another Taizé piece to share with you all. And the words come from Saint Teresa of Avila. And so the Spanish words that we will be singing are Nada te turbe, nada te espante, quien a Dios tiene, nada le falta. Nada te turbe, nada te espante, solo Dios basta. And that comes from a longer poem. Nada te turbe, nada te espante, todo se pasa, Dios no se muda. La paciencia todo lo alcanza. Quien a Dios tiene, nada le falta, solo Dios basta, which means let nothing disturb you, let nothing frighten you, all things pass away, God never changes. Patience obtains all things. He who has God finds he lacks nothing. God alone suffices. So, Santa Teresa de Avila. Nada te turbe, nada te espante, quien a Dios tiene, nada le falta. Nada, nada te turbe, nada te espante, solo Dios basta. Feel free to join in if you can. Nada te turbe, nada te espante, quien a Dios tiene, nada le falta. Nada te turbe, nada te espante, solo Dios basta. Nada te turbe, nada te espante, quien a Dios tiene, nada la falta. Nada te turbe, nada te espante, solo Dios basta. Nada te turbe, nada te espante, quien a Dios tiene, nada le falta. Nada años tiene, nada le falta, nada te turbe, nada te espante, solo Dios basta.
Thank you, Father Eric. Let nothing disturb you. Let nothing frighten you. All things pass. God never changes. That was so central to Teresa of Avila that she made a bookmark of it to remind herself every time she opened the book, and she was an avid reader. She said, I never went to meditation without, except that a book with me. So maybe if she needed reminding, maybe we need to remind ourselves. All things pass. Loving kindness towards yourself. I hope you have your arms around yourself and around your loved one, and even in part around the one you might struggle with. If you have, your soul has been extended. I hadn't intended doing this, but I'm reminded again from something Father Eric said. About the value of what's known as Lectio Divina, divine reading. Any sacred text, any poetry, something you really, really want to absorb. The 4 moments of it are classically you read, you stay with what resonates with you, what's inside, what draws you, what word, what phrase attracts you. Because that's where the nourishment is. So I read a passage and I think, oh yeah. I stay with that bit. So I read. And then a second read, I stay with what resonates. I taste that. The early mothers and fathers of the church used to talk about chewing the cud. If you ever watch a cow in the field, you see everything's pouring out of you. They get such a very thorough chewing. You can hear me? Some difficulty? That's better. All right, okay. Thank you, Jim. So you read, then resonate and stay with what's resonating for you, and then you respond. Many people journal and would write, well, my response to what this is saying to me, and you write that out. It's your heart response. That's the third moment of Lectio Divina. The fourth being where you simply rest or repose. So we have read, resonate, stay with, respond, and finally repose. I'm going to choose something just to do it so we have it a little bit more embodied. So the first line is simply, be still and know that I am. Hear that again. Be still and know that I am. Notice what word attracts. Be still and know that I am. Following that, be still and know. Be still and know. By being still, I know. I'm reducing it yet further. Be still. And finally, be. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know. Be still. Be. And I'm inviting the group to take 15 minutes meditating here. You may need to use your prayer word or mantra, or just allow the stillness to hold you. Often the fruit of stillness is not experienced by you at the time. More often, we're held in stillness before we know we are. And then a realization awakens. I'm held in stillness. And its fruit is often much, much later. It's manifest in remembrance. Like so much of our life. This, that, and the other thing didn't make sense, but a decade later I look back and see a thread manifested as we remember. I would like now to just mention the labyrinth and invite you, if you so wish, to walk it with me. And let's keep it very simple. I would suggest you stay as you are, collected from your sitting quiet in meditation to moving towards beginning the labyrinth walk, and just stay in present momentness without thoughts until you come right into the center. And when you get to the center, be bold. Ask for your heart's desire. Name what your heart's desire is as you stand here. So your pilgrimage. Slowly being centered. And then at the center, what is my deepest heart's desire? Ask for it. A suggestion or as you wish. So anybody who would like to join me, please do. I'm going to start here. If you'd like to, anybody's. There we go. I suppose shoes off's a good idea. think we'll make room for everybody.
Okay, since we are all together, how about praying our Father?
When they finish.
John just reminded me to share with you all that this Peace Labyrinth, which was built in 2013 here in Blessed at that time, is available for your use throughout the week. So if you ever feel called to come and do a labyrinth walk, please know that it's available during business hours. Whenever the church office is open, the labyrinth is open. So if this was a meaningful experience for you and this is something that you would like to continue in your spiritual practice, please know that it's here for you. And if for some reason the church doors are not open, and you'd like to have access, please feel free to call the office and we can come and open it up for you.
I'm going to suggest you take a little bit of time for yourself before we move to something else. Maybe 15 minutes, you might like a cup of tea or coffee or outside walking or just maybe. Let me repeat. Yes, better. I'm suggesting that we have a little break. You might like to go outside for a walk, just be on your own, maybe a cup of tea, whatever. But we'll resume here in about 15 minutes again. Thank you.
Stay with me, remain here with me, watch and pray, watch and pray, stay with me, remain here with me, watch and pray, watch and pray, stay with me, remain here with me, watch and pray, watch and pray, stay with me, remain here with me, watch and pray, watch and pray, stay with me, remain here with me, watch
Taking the temperature over a cup of tea, I'm getting a sense people are beginning to wane a little. So just to say that we will finish within half an hour. There's one or two small things. Hear me okay? Yeah. I'd like to share with you what I consider the value of devotion. Many years ago, a guy phoned me, came to see me, came into my office and lit a poster on the wall that read, "It is with your mind you create this world," the Buddha. It is with your mind you create this world. And he said, "Is that picture of Tibet?" I said, "Oh, no, really." And he proceeded to tell me about his journey through Tibet on a donkey. He spent months. I said, "Well, what did you do?" He said, "I said my mantras." That's it? Yeah. I was blown away. Over and over. Yes, over and over. And occasionally I'm fortunate enough to meet somebody who has a place, retained a place, outside of spontaneity for devotion. Maybe there's some one thing for you, maybe from childhood, maybe one thing that you would like to really make more fully your own, to make it a devotion. So let's take a minute to consider what that might be for you. What calls deepest to your heart? What one thing would you like to make more space for in your life? One of my mainstays, and I just maybe say or pray it for you. It's a Psalm 23, age old. A prayer that Jesus himself would have prayed. The Lord is my shepherd. There is nothing I shall want. Fresh and green are the pastures to which he leads me. He leads me beside still waters, and every good shepherd knows that sheep will not drink from gurgling water. So the shepherd's job is to find a place where the water has pooled. And failing that, he cups the water in his own hands and gives to each sheep the measure that they're able to drink. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths that are right, and even though I walk at times in the valley of darkness, I will not fear, because you are with me, with your crook and your staff to comfort and to guide me. Yes, you are my shepherd. Make a place for whatever your devotional dimension might be. Something you want to make more fully your own. Consider the word presence. For I am your very breath, and I have been with you from the beginning. How gently and lovingly you wake in my heart, where you dwell secretly and alone. So we will be coming to an end soon, so I would like to invite you to consider the day and perhaps to consider what word still stays with me as we finish the day. Is there one word? Is there one phrase? And if there is, can I invite you just to put it into the circle, to say it out loud? A word, a phrase that stays with you.
Appropriate surrender.
Thank you. fullness, community, stillness, serenity, ordinary beauty. Thank you. Cleanliness, washed over. Inner knowing. Sorry? Love. Thank you. Love. Perhaps to see that word or phrase as like a seed, you might ask yourself, how might I water the seed? How might I nurture that? You might even decide before you sleep tonight, as you're about to fall asleep, to recall, what was that word? What was my word? Keeping it alive for yourself. How you might nurture that. I'm reminded of a friend of mine who says she meditates twice a day. First time she said is to get centered. The second time, to stay centered. And she says 20 years later, the second time is beginning to work. Staying centered. Seeds help. We might finish maybe with a final Tuesday. Yeah. Before we have what I call a bannock, is the Irish for blessing. Or maybe we'll do that first, yeah? So these are the words of John O'Donoghue, the Irish mystic. Blessing our prayer. May the nourishment of the earth be yours. May the clarity of light be yours. May the fluency of the ocean be yours. May the protection of the ancestors be yours. And so may a slow, silent wind work these words sown in you today. May they work a love around you, an invisible cloak to mind your life. May today go with you. Amen.
We'll end with just a piece with which we began. So let us sing together, Bless the Lord, my soul. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, who leads me into life. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, Bless the Lord, my soul, who leads me into life. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, who leads me into life. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, who leads me into life. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, who leads me into life. Bless the Lord, my soul, and bless God's holy name. Bless the Lord, my soul, who leads me into life.
And a final thanks to Father Eric for all that music, which was just so excellent. Thank you, Eric. Thank you so much. Thank you also to Joe and Patricia and all the meetings we had in preparation. And finally, I'd like to thank my wife and my soulmate. She's the heart holder. We worked together for years in the House of Prayer, and she used to say to me, you are the transmitter, I'm the embodied educationalist. And growingly, we just discovered what our roles were. So she's holding the space here, the heart space. So thank you, Rosemary. Thank you all for coming. Safe home.